I just gave a ride to this guy. His name's Kenji. And he's smoking a cigarette. A lot of people coming here have been smoking a cigarette. And he hops in. And he just launches into his... There's something about me that lets people they wanna unload. So I drove him from San Francisco to this place. I don't even know what city this is. This is East Bay, Southeast Bay. A little south of the near Ocean Beach, I guess. South of the Oakland Airport. And so he just starts telling me all about his girlfriends and how they're doing this, they're doing that. And how he's essentially tired of the situation. Just a lot of drama. He's just full of drama. Calls himself a sex god. Says he's tired of being a sex god. He's talking about getting with this woman whose husband is on tour at Burning Man. And hubby, after 30 years or so, decided that he was done with monogamy. Fuck that shit. We're gonna be poly. You're gonna be poly. And she's like, all right. So she gets with this guy, Kenji. And then hubby decides that he made a bad decision. As Kenji says, the false standards of monogamy, how it always... He essentially said it doesn't ever work. Not monogamy, for polyamory. And he's just telling me this story. He's telling me his life story. And he's worried about his girlfriend and how he thinks she's tweaking out. And there's just a lot of pain in there. There's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But he's much more aware than most people that I talk to. He essentially said, I know I brought this on myself. I know I'm responsible for my situation. I know I'm responsible for the karma that I create. So he understands, but at the same time, he kind of implicitly knows that he's not really ready to leave that kind of lifestyle behind. So he's still in it. He's gonna be in it until it's done. And I just kind of had this realization that we live in such a facade. The life that we've created, this plastic society, is such a facade. And everybody knows it. Everyone knows we're not living right. Everyone knows that we're not caring for each other like we should. Everyone knows there's pitfalls and traps and energy sinks everywhere, vampires everywhere. And it's not an easy situation because there's not just an easy fix for that. If people are hooked on all these things, and there's 1,000,001 things to be hooked on, and they're all bad for you. All of these things that people get hooked on are harmful. Drugs, pharma, TV, advertising, consumerism, capitalism even is exactly the same thing as consumerism, even though we try to sell it as something beautiful and great and the only system that works. Hospitals are in the business of dis-ease. They're not in the business of health, although even health has a bad connotation because it's hell. Health, it's It's not wholeness, it's not wellness. Any hospital that's trying to act like it's in the business of healing is just acting as another aspect of the facade. So it's a ginormous shit show, plastic reality, illusory, and there are traps everywhere. This is not heaven. If anything, it's some sort of a purgatory or a testing grounds, like my dad always says. It will kick your ass, kick you while you're down, and then tell you that you need to learn a lesson in that beating. And if you don't actually learn the lesson, it's going to give you a rerun on that lesson in a slightly different variation. And if you don't get the lesson in your life before you die, it's going to give you another rerun, and you're going to pop back in another body with the proper karmic adjustments. And that's what we've been doing for a really, really long time. And this awakening that seems to be happening, at least from the side that I'm on, is attempting to remedy the situation, the fallen situation. And it must be done. There's nothing to do but that. There's nothing to do but heal. But it's not easy. It's a difficult path. It's the magic spell, the hypnosis that everybody's under, that keeps the individuals from listening to that quiet voice, the voice of God or the source, the one that doesn't yammer on as ego. That's the one that will actually lead back to wholeness. But that one doesn't advertise on billboards. It doesn't advertise and say that Jesus will save you. That's the internal one. It's just sickness everywhere. It's sickness. It's a dying. But of course, like the lotus in the pile of shit, the lotus grows out of nasty junk, dirt, bogs, and it's a beautiful flower. That's what we're doing here. We're creating that. We're creating the lotus out of the swamp pit of society, which is pretending to be something beautiful. It's pretending to be a shiny thing. Anyway, I gotta go. I got a ride request, so take care, everybody.